Generally, I'm a quiet guy, but I know how to have fun and make people laugh when I want to, and I make friends fairly easily. I'm definitely not that confrontational if it can be avoided. Typically, what I lack in terms of assertiveness I felt I've made up for by getting pretty big in the gym. I'm only 58, but I'm 175 pounds at around 14% BF, and ever since I've developed this physique I haven't really needed to assert myself in a super dominant fashion. I'm just respected for the most part. That was until this one D-bag got hired at my job. I work at Target full-time while I'm doing a trade program on the side. I've wanted to gtfo of that store for 2 years now, but I've needed the money so I could pay rent. Anyway, this kid was hired in the tech department, and I don't know what it is, but every sales rep we've ever had in that position has always had this stereotypical douchey persona. Most of the time I've been able to banter with them just fine, but this kid was straight up disrespectful to me and only me. We'll call him Jake. I don't know if he just took my quietness as weakness or something, but every day he just wouldn't lay off on the quips, calling me a virgin and a bunch of stupid high school tier insults that were overdone past the point of being a funny back and forth. I eventually asked him WTF his issue was and told him to stop, which he kind of did, but it was the other shit he'd do that was just irritating. I swear every time I'd pass tech with the OPU card, or if I ever saw him in the break room, he was always openly flirting with coworkers. Some of the girls in the clothes section would come over and talk to him a lot. He was already getting all this female attention on the second week on the job, which was honestly absurd to me. I wasn't necessarily jealous because I had a girlfriend, but just baffled they couldn't see this guy for the scumbag he was. He just came across like he had no self-control when it came to women. Problem is my girlfriend also works at Target with me. I've never had any trust issues with her at all or anything, and we're always playfully talking and laughing when we're prepping carts in the back or when we pass each other on the floor. But then one day I was doing a standard batch and I saw her at the tech counter with Jake, and it just struck a fucking nerve with me cause she was laughing a bunch and she was doing this hair twirling thing she does when she's nervous, and I'm like, no fucking way. Like, sure, I shouldn't overthink too much, but generally when your gut is telling you something, you should follow it, or at least be on higher guard. With this dude being a total man whore and my girlfriend laughing and giving those signals that I know because I'm her boyfriend, something definitely couldn't be good there. That shit went on for a few weeks and it actually started to affect how I'd act around her at work. I just felt rigid and out of whack and couldn't focus or laugh at the things I normally would. She was definitely picking up on it too, to where she started prying me for what was wrong. Eventually, I just told her that I didn't think it was a good idea for her to be talking to Jake and that I saw it as disrespectful to our relationship because he's obviously just trying to get laid. My blood pressure was through the roof telling her that because we've never had a situation like this come up in our relationship, and we've always been extremely close and compatible with each other. I never thought I'd need to tell her to stay away from some guy. I just figured she'd be able to pick up on the cues pretty easily and turn him down. She paused for a second and then responded in a way that I thought was a bit suspect and just overcompensating. She was like, "Baby Nuo, I love you so much, he means nothing to me." Like it would have been more sincere if she just told me a flat out okay, I'm sorry, I understand or whatever. To what I thought at the time was to her credit, I did notice after that conversation she stopped talking to him in the days and weeks following. I was still slightly on edge just having to deal with the tension of this douchebag trying to hit on my girlfriend, but I was generally more relieved. But the seed of fear was already planted in my head, and it had me alternating between being motivated to strengthen my bond with my girlfriend or caging up in a paranoid way. I obviously did my best to just keep things positive, and for the most part things felt like they were returning to the same as usual with her, and it was definitely a relief. But then, one day I got home from work and she wasn't there. She usually gets out an hour before me, and if she goes anywhere she tells me. So I shot her a text asking where she was and she didn't respond. I gave her a call an hour later and she didn't pick up. At that point it was 6:30 in the afternoon and dark out, and I started thinking about all the worst possibilities. I was worried sick. Finally though, she texted me. It was a video. Now I don't want to describe what I saw in too specific detail because it disgusts me to even think about. But in the thumbnail I just saw a white tile floor and strands of dark brown hair in the bottom left corner. I was breathing heavy just staring at the text. I clicked on it and it just shows Jake laughing at the camera taking a hit of a joint and then flipping the camera to show my fucking girlfriend on her knees with no shirt or bra on. She was sucking his dick all enthusiastically. I'll never forget the noises I heard. It felt like my peripheries just went black. I turned off my phone and chucked it and just started pacing until I finally grabbed a moving box and packed all of her stuff into it. I drove to her parents' house and dropped it off, and then I texted her dad the video saying I will no longer be seeing her. I burnt every bridge that night and completely hardened my heart. Since then, I've trusted no one except family and my one very close friend. I don't think I'll ever talk to any girl again because I genuinely thought I could trust this girl that I once loved, but she completely spat on me. I will never be the same again.